Buenas tardes muchachos, es Miss Becerra aquí para darles su lección de matemáticas. Hay que cambiarnos al inglés primeramente, ¿están listos? Good afternoon boys and girls, it's time for our math lesson. First things first, you need to go get your supplies, okay? Go get your notebook, get your red and yellow crayons or your red and yellow markers. You're going to need your manipulatives. I have magnets and I also have my counters. Remember that you can get your balls, you can get your Play-Doh, you can get your frijolitos, but you need some manipulatives, okay? You're also going to need a pencil to write with, okay? And I'm using my dry erase marker because I'm using my dry erase board, okay? So go get your things, and remember that you can always pause Miss Becerra so you can go get your things and be ready, okay? So if you've paused me, welcome back. It's time for us to read our learning objective. What are we going to learn today, boys and girls? Let's see. Our learning objective today is I will learn how to solve word problems using objects to find sums up to 5. Good, I'm glad you said it with me. Now let's try it again. I will learn how to solve word problems using objects to find sums up to 5. So there's a couple new words in there, okay? So that's why I've made these little clouds so that we can read our new words and put them into our brains, okay? Last week we were talking about composing, composing. And remember, what does compose mean? If I'm a composer who makes music, or I'm a chef and I'm gonna compose a sandwich, gonna make a sandwich, what would I be in math? What would I compose in math? I would compose a number. I would be composing numbers. So last week we were talking about how to compose a number. And we were composing the number 5 and then the numbers all the way up to 10. So today we're going to do a little bit of just like that. We're composing. But I wanted to add some new vocabulary words, okay? So we're going to go a little bit further than composing. Remember that composing means to make. So we are still going to make a number. Don't worry. I still have my 10 frame. And I'm still going to use my sentence, a number and a number make another number. We are still going to be using this today, okay? I just thought that it would be time for us to learn some new vocabulary words, okay? So we are still going to be talking about composing. We're still going to be doing that. But I have 2 new words for us. This word we did a little bit last week. We mentioned it. This word has a J, and in English the J makes the J sound. Do you remember what word we used last week that made the J sound? If you need some help, let's say a little bit at a time. Joining. Last week we said this word, joining. Whenever I composed, I was going to join 2 numbers. So for example, if I wanted to compose or make the number 2, let's say I'm going to join 1 yellow and 1 red. Did that make 2? Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, I composed the number 2, and I know that because I just counted. How did I compose the number 2, boys and girls? What did I have to do? I had to join one yellow counter and 1 red counter. I had to join. That means I had to put them together. Okay, that's what we just did, and that's what we're going to keep doing today, okay? We're going to join numbers in our 10 frame. Remember, at home you can draw a 10 frame so that you can follow along with me, okay? If not, we can just use red and yellow circles to pretend that they're counters, okay? So remember, today we are still composing. I'm still going to make a number. And how do I make a number? I make a number by joining. I'm going to join some counters. 1 yellow counter and 1 red counter. When I join them, I make the number 2. Good. And remember, there's one other word that I have on here on my whiteboard. And this word is called adding. Can we say that word together? Adding. Whenever I join, I am adding. And this is something that we're going to focus on all week. So don't be scared if you don't get it today, okay? I understand. Just like last week we had a little bit of trouble with composing. That's totally okay. We'll go step by step, okay? So don't worry. So again, today, boys and girls, we are composing, which means we make a number. And how do I make a number? I make a number by joining my counters, my manipulatives, my frijolitos. And whenever I join, I am adding. So today we are adding, okay? So adding and composing, we're adding and composing today. All right, ready to get started? I have my 10 frame with me, but just like I said in my objective, let me turn that around. I'm only going to be making sums up to 5. So first of all, my question is, how many squares are in my 10 frame? I don't want to count them all. So let me think. If this is called a 10 frame, how many squares should be in here if it's called a 10 frame? 10. There should be 10 squares in here. And I know that there are 10 squares because this is called a 10 frame. So there are 10 squares. If I put up my hands when I make 10 fingers, 2 hands up, that's 10 fingers. I see that I have 2 rows, just like I do with 2 hands. 1 row, 2 rows. This is just like me putting 1 hand and 1 hand. So if I'm only making sums up to 5, how many hands is that? Just 1, because 1 hand up, that's 5 fingers. So if I'm only using 1 hand, that means I'm only going to use 1 row in my 10 frame. That means I'm only going to be using the top row, okay? Remember that when I make 5, I can use various squares. I can go like this. I just made the number 4, but I think it would be easier if we only focus on the top row, okay? So when we use our 10 frames, let's make sure to go row by row, okay? And I'm only going to be making 5 today, so I only need to use my top row. We're not going to touch the bottom row today, okay? In a couple weeks we are, but not today. So let me just put these back. Alrighty, boys and girls, so today we are going to use word problems. That was in our objective, word problems. And a word problem, let me explain more. An oral word problem is something that I say. So I'm going to tell you a little story, and this story is going to have numbers in it. And we have to act out that story using our counters and our 10 frame. So remember, today we're composing, we're making by joining. So today we are going to make up to the number 5 using our counters and our 10 frames. So are we ready, boys and girls? Remember that today we're using word problems, so we need to listen, okay? Gotta listen. So let's make a word problem. I don't know what numbers to use yet, so I'm going to use my dice, okay? Let's see what story we can make out of our dice. Let's see. I'm gonna make up a story, okay? Miss Becerra has dogs. Let's see how many dogs Miss Becerra has. Miss Becerra has 0 dogs. That's actually true, boys and girls. I don't have any dogs. If Miss Becerra does not have any dogs, I have 0 dogs. What does that mean, boys and girls? How many counters can I put in here? 0. I'm going to put 0 counters. And how do I show 0 counters? With nothing, right? 0 means what, boys and girls? Nothing. I'm not going to put any counters here because 0 means nothing, which is true, boys and girls. Miss Becerra doesn't have any dogs, which makes me sad. I do wish I had a dog, but I don't have any. I have 0 dogs. So I'm going to write that. Let's see if I can move my iPad so you can see better. I'm sorry, boys and girls. There we go. Okay. So Ms. Becerra has 0 dogs, which is true. And am I going to put any counters in here, boys and girls? No, because 0 means what? Nothing. Good. Okay. So Ms. Becerra has 0 dogs, and it makes her very sad. But my dad brought home 2 dogs yesterday. Yesterday, Ms. Becerra's dad brought 2 dogs home. So how can I show that, boys and girls? What word did we just learn? What word did we just learn that I can show here on my 10 frame. I can what? Join. I can join my counters onto my 10 frame to act out the word problem. So remember, Miss Becerra has 0 dogs, but then her dad brought home 2 dogs. So let's show that. Let's show 2 dogs. 1, 2. I just showed 2 dogs that Miss Becerra's dad brought. Miss Becerra's dad brought 2 dogs. Let's show that. 2 dogs. Yep. Good. So Miss Becerra had 0 dogs, but then her dad brought home 2 dogs. Now, how many dogs do I have in my house, boys and girls? How can I find the answer? I just made a number. I just composed a number using 0 and 2. So what do I have to do now? In my 10 frame, what do I have to do? I have to count. So let's count, boys and girls. 1, 2. How many dogs are in Miss Becerra's house now? 1, 2. There are 2 dogs in Miss Becerra's house. And I know that because I counted. So now there are 2 dogs. Let's write that down. Good. And this is the same sentence we were using last week. So let's go ahead and read it. 0 and 2 make 2. So remember, Miss Becerra had 0 dogs, and then her dad brought home 2 dogs. And in my 10 frame, I showed that I had to join 0 counters. Remember, there's no counters because 0 means nothing. I had to join 0 counters and 2 counters. And what number did I compose, boys and girls? What number did I make? I made the number 2. So I can read my sentence as 0 and 2 make 2. 0 and 2 make 2. How many dogs are in Miss Becerra's house now? 2. Good job, boys and girls. Let's try another one, okay? That one was easy peasy. You're smart. I know we can try one a little bit harder than that. Okay, this next one, thank you for helping me. This next one's going to go in our notebook, okay? So get your notebook and your crayons ready, okay? So let's see. For this new story, I want to include one of my friends. Which friend should I include? I'm going to include Vanya. Vanya, I'm going to include you. Vanya went to the pumpkin patch this weekend, and Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins. So let's show that, boys and girls. Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins. Let's use our yellow counters for that. She saw 3 yellow pumpkins. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins. Let's write down the number 3. Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins, and I'm going to let you copy that. And then we're going to do it in our notebook together. Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. So I'm getting my yellow marker. You can get your yellow crayon. And let's show that. 1, 2, 3. 3, boys and girls. Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. Her mom saw 2 orange pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. Let's show how many pumpkins Vanya's mom saw. Let's see. I already used yellow, so now I'm going to use red. Vanya's mom saw 2 orange pumpkins. Let's show that. 1, 2. And let's write that down. Vanya's mom saw 2 orange pumpkins. Okay. So what did I just do, boys and girls? I joined my yellow counters and my red counters, and I just made a new number. Before we go ahead and count and figure out our word problem, let's show it in the notebook. Remember, Vanya saw 3 yellow pumpkins. Her mom saw 2 orange pumpkins. Let's show that. Remember, we used a different color to separate them. So Vanya's mom saw 2. 1, 2 orange pumpkins. And then I'm going to write down 2. Her mom saw 2 orange pumpkins. How many pumpkins did Vanya's family see? So now I have to think. Let's count all the pumpkins that Vanya and her mom saw at the pumpkin patch. Now we have to count, okay? Now we have to count what we joined. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many pumpkins did Vanya's mom and Vanya see at the pumpkin patch? They saw 5 pumpkins. And I know that because I counted to 5. 5 was the last number I said. Let's hear it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the last number I said. That means I have 5 in this set. Another way that I can see that I have 5 is because I filled the top row of my 10 frame. Remember, the top row shows me 5. When I fill the whole 10 frame, I have 10. But I only filled the top, so that means that I have 5. So how many pumpkins did Vanya's family see at the pumpkin patch? They saw 5 pumpkins. Good. So let's write that down. Her family saw 5 pumpkins. And now we can read our whole sentence. 3 and 2 make 5. Let's read that again. 3 and 2 make 5. Good. 3 and 2 make 5. Good. Vanya's family saw 5 pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. Very nice, boys and girls. Let's try another one, okay? This is the last one that we'll try together, and then you will try one on your own, okay? So that means that Ms. Becerra gets to erase and take off my counters. Remember that we're using word problems, and word problems are stories that we make in math using numbers. And we're doing a really good job, okay? So let's try a new story, and I still want to include a friend. Let me try a different friend this time. Let's see. Nathan. I'm going to include Nathan in this story, okay? So Nathan likes to draw. I don't know if you know that, but Nathan likes to draw. And Nathan drew me 3... No, let's see. Nathan didn't draw me 3. He drew me 4 red dragons. He drew me 4 red dragons. Can we show that, boys and girls, that Nathan drew Miss Becerra 4 dragons? And he's actually drawn me dragons before. Okay, so let's see. First, I start off with yellow. So he drew me 4 dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I write that down. Nathan drew Miss Becerra 4 dragons. He drew me 4 red dragons. And then we're going to show that. Get your notebook. First color is always yellow. Now, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just showed the number 4. Sorry if you couldn't see that from my whiteboard. I just showed you 4 dragons that Nathan drew me. Good. Nathan drew me 4 dragons. And then Nathan drew me 1 monster. Nathan drew me 1 monster. Let's show that in our 10 frame. Let's show that Nathan drew 1 monster. 1. Good, boys and girls. Now we get to write. How many monsters did Nathan draw? Just 1. Write the number 1. Good. And then I show that in my notebook. He drew me he drew me 4 dragons, and then he drew me 1 monster. Good. Okay. Now, boys and girls, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to write how many I had. How many monsters did he draw? Just 1. Good. 1. Good. Now I need to see, boys and girls, how many monsters he drew me in all. How many drawings did he do for Miss Becerra? That means that I have to count what I joined. So I joined my yellow counters with my red counters. And remember, every time that I join, I'm adding. So let's see what I just added. Let's see. How many drawings did Nathan do for Miss Becerra? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many drawings did Nathan do for Miss Becerra? 5. He did 5 drawings for Miss Becerra. That means I need to write down the number now. The number 5. Good. 4 and 1 make 5. 4 and 1 make 5. Nathan drew me 4 dragons and 1 monster. So how many drawings did he do in all from his becerra? He did 5 drawings. And I know that because I counted and I listened for the last number in the set. And also, I see that the top row is full. And the top row is just like 1 hand. How many fingers do I have on 1 hand? 5, because 1 hand up. That's 5 fingers. Good. So how many drawings did Nathan do from his becerra? 5. He did 5 drawings. That was excellent, boys and girls. 4 and 1 make 5. Good. I lied to you. I said you could go by yourself right now. Let's do one more together because I think that you guys are really getting it, especially since we already practiced last week. So let's try one more and then I'll let you go, okay? Promise. That means that I gotta erase. Okay. So boys and girls, let's do the last one, I promise, and then you get to go work by yourself, okay? So let's see. I'm thinking of my friend Carlos. I'm going to use my friend Carlos. Okay. So Carlos has 1 chocolate chip cookie. He has 1 delicious, super yummy chocolate chip cookie. So let's show that, okay? 1 chocolate chip cookie. 1. Easy peasy. Carlos has 1 chocolate chip cookie. I just showed that. Now I get to write it. Carlos has 1 chocolate chip cookie. And then I'm going to show that in my notebook, okay? Carlos has 1 chocolate chip cookie. That means I get to draw it. Yummy. 1 chocolate chip cookie. 1. His mom gives him 3 more cookies because Carlos was being such a good boy. He got 3 more cookies. How can I show 3 more cookies, boys and girls? How do I show more? If I want to keep on putting counters, what do I have to do? If I have to put my reds next to my yellows, what do I need to do? I need to join. I need to join, boys and girls. So let's join those 3 cookies that Carlos's mom gave him, okay? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. We just joined 3 chocolate chip cookies to the 1 that Carlos already had. So now that I put them down, I joined them. Now I can write my number. Carlos's mom gave him 3 more because he was being really good. Now I show that in my notebook. 3 more cookies. 1, 2, 3. 3 more cookies. Now, boys and girls, how many cookies does Carlos have all together? Let's count all of his cookies, okay, boys and girls? He was such a good boy that his mom gave him 3 more to the 1 that he already had. I joined my red counters, or my cookies, to the 1 Carlos had. So now I need to count everything, okay? Let's count them all. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many cookies does Carlos have now? He has 4 cookies. Let's write that down. Carlos now has 4 cookies. And we can read this now. 1 and 3 make 4. 1 and 3 make 4. So now how many cookies does Carlos have, boys and girls? He has 4 cookies. He had 1, his mom gave him 3, and now he has 4. And how did I show that, boys and girls? Remember, Carlos just had 1, and his mom gave him 3. How did I show that? What did I need to do? I needed to join. I needed to join 3, and that made 4. Good. Okay, now you can go, boys and girls. So thank you for helping me with those examples. Remember that last week we were using our ripped up paper. So today you're going to go get your paper. Remember, if you don't have it, get a sheet and just go ahead and rip it up. And you're going to do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to write down 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then you get to make up your own word problems. Now you can use your friends, you can use your family, you can use Ms. Becerra in your word problems, okay? Let's say that Elisa had 5 of her dinosaur eggs, because I know that she likes her dinosaur eggs. Let's say that Elisa has 5 dinosaur eggs. You're going to go ahead and show me that on your whiteboard, okay? In your notebook. Elisa has 5 dinosaur eggs. And she was being so good that for Christmas, she got 2 more dinosaur eggs. And then you're going to show me that, okay? So you're going to do 2 of these by yourself. Get your little sheets of paper. And you're going to do 2 word problems by yourself in your notebook, okay? And then when you're all done, you're going to go to Seesaw and finish your work in Seesaw, okay? Good. So here's your instructions again. You're going to do 2 word problems by yourself using your sheets of paper. And then you're going to go to Seesaw. Okay, boys and girls? So that's all your work for today. Today is a Monday, which means today we go to art. If you finish early with all of your math work, then go ahead and go to art class, okay? And then when you're done, you'll come back with me for science. Okay, boys and girls? Thank you for hanging out with me today and doing the math lesson. Remember that today we were still composing, which means we are making. We made numbers today, and we were making numbers by joining. And we did a really good job, okay? So good job, and remember, keep on doing your work, and then I'll see you for science, okay? Bye, guys.